Hello there. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live show. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder and president of Generation PR and the creator of Generation Academy, the Profitable PR Pros community. You may be watching this there. I'm going to get my notes all set up while I wait for people to come and find us. Going live today. How's everybody doing? Give me one sec. Digging up my notes. Okay. All right. How's it going? Let me know who's here joining today. I always have my regulars or party people who, usually the people who are in our paid programs who want more. Give me more. Always learning, always growing. Give me more. How can I be better? Love that attitude. Let me know who's here. Today we're going to be talking about, hello, Ashley Victoria. Nice to see you. Ashley is going to be presenting inside of our community. Ashley, let me know what topic we landed on. I know we were talking about a couple things. Let me know where we landed and our members get to experience your experience. Yes. Hey. Yes. Sorry, I'm just making sure the pets are all okay. Whoa, hey, leave her. I got my dog likes to be mother hen to the cats, and sometimes she takes the mouthing, a little too far, where she'll pick them up in her mouth, and they kind of love it, honestly. But sometimes she thinks she's disciplining them, and yeah. Oh, increasing Amazon reviews in a masterclass. That's awesome because this has actually just come up in one of our clients. They are launching a brand new product. It's a wonderful product, but because it's new, there's not a lot of reviews. And so they're talking to an outside agency about generating those reviews in exchange for a product or a discount. I can't remember. I think that maybe breaks the rules on Amazon. Maybe that's a strategy they're doing on their own website. I cannot recall, but that might be something you want to include, Ashley, in the masterclass you're presenting to our community, because I think that is a tactic that some brands are enticed into using because of the need for fast, positive reviews on Amazon in order to convert more sales, especially during a launch. So is that kosher? Can we do that? Can we not? Let us know. And also, hello, Serena. Nice to see you as always. Okay, so today's topic is all about white labeling. What even is white labeling? Should you do it? Should you not? Should you use others and have them white label for you? Let's talk about it. And I would love for you to include your I bit my cheek. Your questions in the comments, because I'd love for this to be a conversation so that we can address your specific needs and concerns in your business, what is coming up for you. This could be a really good way for you to quickly onboard a client. I am currently experiencing something like this right now, where the preferred person I'd like to use on a new account is out on maternity leave. And when she comes back, I want her to take the work. So I'm contemplating a white label situation. I can see you now, Nicola. Hi, nice to see you. Welcome. Nicola is international, all over she's in Dubai right now, I think. But where are you from originally? I forget that, but I believe you're in Dubai still. You live there. My friend Gigi, another PR pro, is starting a new chapter of her business where she is helping people invest in real estate in Dubai. And she went there and she was just called, just a calling that just took over her body. This place is magical. It's amazing. I have to do more here. I have to grow my business to reflect my passion for Dubai, which is super cool. So let me know who, Nicola, you're there. Just confirm so I know I'm not crazy. Okay, so we are going to dive into white labeling. It can be a bit of a mystery for Dubai, Denmark. Come and join me here. Yeah, I should tell her. She's living in San Diego. Her daughter's getting married this weekend. And she's just, I mean, like when I talk to her, her spark, she's come alive when she's started talking about Dubai and helping people invest in real estate. And she's already like full force doing it. I mean, it's very, very cool. This is what I'm saying. Like, follow your passion, follow that spark inside of you that guides you, that like inner knowing, both positive and negative. If something feels wrong to you, you don't have to rationalize it and make it right because it should be right. That could be with a person, a relationship, a career, a retreat in Dubai. Oh, you guys, my children would make that a little difficult. Not so much. I'm like trying to get to Austin right now because the platform that I use for all of my coaching content. So if you guys log into Generation Academy, it's hosted on a platform called Kajabi, and they're doing this really incredible live event in Austin next month, and they've invited me to come to like recognize some of my achievements on the platform, which is really cool. I was like really, really early on, like the day that they launched the platform, I signed up, and then I've grown with the platform. Anyway, so I'm trying to get my husband to go to Austin with me, and we're like, who's going to watch the kids? How are we going to get them to school? Like, there's so many logistics, and that's just like a 2-day in Austin. I think Dubai would be a little hard, but I would love to do a retreat. Let me know in the comments if you guys would actually come to Los Angeles. Pre-pandemic, I had a retreat scheduled for April 2020. And we all know how that turned out. And I was so excited. It was going to be, I mean, we can still run it. You would. Serena, you would. Well, yeah, Serena would come because she's always coming and traveling for work. And that's like, I know that lights you up. Maybe we should do something. Yeah, at Ashley's game. I mean, I could honestly like even do it in my home. Like, not, I don't have a big home, but my office, I could have like 10 people here and we could do a deep dive. I've been thinking about that too. But anyway, that still kind of haunts me that we didn't do the event. And it was also haunting me because they had not returned my deposit until last week. And it was a very significant deposit, like more than a mortgage payment. And so I'm so glad. I mean, they were like, you have a contract. And I'm like, you know, nature took over and they gave me half of my deposit back a couple of years ago. And then they were holding on to it. And then they finally closed all of their LA locations. So I was like, you can't, it's not the same opportunity for me to go to another, you know, New York. I can't be in LA and host an event in New York for the same cost. And they were like, fine, here's your money. So I got my money back. It was like hanging over my head. Anyway, so I've got 2 people game. Nicola's is a little far for you to go, but let me think about it. I'll talk to Miranda maybe end of this year or like 2024 because there are a lot to plan, but I would love, 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 love to get everybody together. It'd be amazing. Okay, white labeling. We're digital agency owners. We're all running businesses essentially virtually. You know, I know Serena has an office. Some of us have offices. Some of us don't. It doesn't really matter. Whether you are, you know, running a business like virtually or you have an in-person office, you can still have white labeling in your business. If you're in the beauty and skincare space, you may know about white labeling as the process of creating a product that other companies will then take and rebrand and sell it as their own, right? That is actually pretty similar to how white labeling works in PR. So like maybe you've gone to your dermatologist and they're like, oh, you know, I have my own brand of skincare that I've developed, but they've really gone to a really qualified lab and said, here are the ingredients that I want to have. And they'll say, we have pre-made formulas that you can just put your name on. So a lot of this stuff's pretty similar, but what it is taking an expert and their expertise and essentially putting your name on it and having it be your own. When you white label your services, you are working with a larger agency or a firm, and you provide your work under their name to their clients, under their email. So it can be a really great way for people that are maybe just starting out. You want to gain experience in a certain niche, especially if you're a freelancer. That is a great way to jump in and say, I don't have clients or experience yet in this niche. And obviously you're honest to the agency that you're, working with. Like, I have so many freelancers that are so good at what they do. If they're working in the baby and kids space, I know that they could pivot over to lifestyle or baby and kids, beauty, because they're just that good. And I would give them that experience with our clients, knowing that they know how to navigate the world of the media, whether it's, a product in one niche versus another. But white labeling services could get you in the door to get experience where you haven't already had some, experience of your own, clients of your own. So it can be kind of tricky to navigate at times. And so today we're going to break down everything you need when you're considering white labeling. What even is it? How do you price these services? Maybe when it could be a bad idea, and how to navigate relationships when you are white labeling. And I see thumbs up, so it sounds like this is a topic you guys are interested in knowing about. So please, if I'm speaking and questions pop into your head, Ashley, like, this could be a really good way. I think you probably have done some white labeling. I know you're writing for a bunch of outlets and you have your own brand and you have your hand in a lot of things. And so you do have a lot of varied experience, but if you're looking to go a bit deeper in pitching media on a certain niche, maybe even to help your own brand, you could consider being a white labeled freelancer for an agency, maybe in the swimmer space or in fashion, so you can start to get those contacts. So what is white labeling? It is when a freelancer or an agency is providing their service under another agency or firm, and the freelancer or agency that is doing the white labeling provides that service that is needed for that overall scope of work, or for like a very limited specific project that the client is looking to accomplish, or the client has some goals and objectives, and the agency has said, in order to accomplish this, we need an influencer activation in person. Like, let's say, for example, in my business, I would say you're launching in all the Target stores on the West Coast. It would make sense to do an influencer activation at some flagship store. We don't really want to do events. So I could consider just giving them the name of an outside agency. Or if I'm managing, pitching the media to attend, inviting guests, I'm just not doing the event planning, I might consider white labeling that event planning experiential marketing company services under my agency. You can have a markup. We'll talk about all of this. So it's like, whatever the scope of work is, you might need an outsider to help you accomplish it. And it's usually done by newer companies, younger companies, or freelancers who are looking to bring in some revenue and gain more experience in their niche, more results, just getting more contacts and also revenue, guys. I mean, come on, if you're not making a ton of money on your own yet, you can offer your services for someone else's client and bring in some additional revenue. So firms will turn to white labeled services when they need additional support outside of what their team normally provides, or if they're always working with freelancers like I do in my business. So they all white label their media outreach services for us. So that is under our normal umbrella, but it allows me to work with the best people because they don't have to be W-2 and only work for me. They can have their own clients, which I encourage them to do, so that they can always have something to pitch and maintain those relationships that benefit my clients. See how it all kind of works together. So when you have everything under the umbrella, you want to offer an overarching one-stop solution to your clients that gives that client that feeling that they're just engaging with one agency that will manage the relationship. They don't have a ton of outside agencies to manage and to pay and invoices and getting them onboarded. The client still gets the benefits of a stellar agency experience, a stellar expert execution of their campaign or their service, and they have a more cohesive feeling for the client. So they're not talking to like 7 different outside agencies that aren't all talking to each other. So as an agency owner, or maybe you're a freelancer, you may white label your services. Hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
can you play with this little puppy? Well, why not? Ryan, go play with her. Get a dog, he said. I'll play with her every day, he said. No. Unless the dog has an iPad strapped to her face, he wouldn't he wouldn't look at her. Anyway, side note, sorry, Lola. When I'm off, I'll play with you. Okay, let me repeat that. Okay. Okay. As an agency owner or a freelancer, you may white label your services for another agency or white label someone else's services to increase your agency's offerings. So that in my agency has looked like social media content and execution, strategy and execution, where we'll hire an outside social media strategist. We will hire a stylist and a photographer to create content and create the strategy for rolling out social media, building community. We don't do that, but I want my clients to have a one-stop shop experience with generation. So we would find outside freelancers or social agencies that would white label for us so that we could then offer that service. And we're also still having a hand in managing the relationship and having our PR efforts aligned with what they're doing on social or amplifying. This is a new thing. And Jane, who is not here right now, brought this up on our coaching call yesterday. Maybe Jane's here. Jane, are you here? About how amplification is now incredibly important for media to consider your clients for features. They want you to be amplifying to the point where they're sometimes expecting dollars spent on amplification. So let's say you have a product that they have linked to an affiliate link on allure.com. And now they're getting revenue from everybody that buys that product because it's their affiliate link. Now they want you as the brand to amplify and even pay to amplify on social media that feature that will drive traffic to people to then buy the product through their affiliate link. So it's like, we will feature you if you give us a revenue opportunity and you help us sell even more by amplifying. Okay, so that's a specific example of social media or paid social, organic social needing to know what PR is up to so that they can amplify those wins. Makes sense? So if you're not offering PR as a core service, social media as a core service, or you do offer it, but you're not the one actually, creating the graphics and creating the strategy and pushing out the content, if you have all of that under your agency, you can have those efforts aligned. And that's just one example of why that should be important, to have those efforts aligned. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Thumbs up, heart. Maybe I have a sip of coffee in the process. Let me know if that is okay, good, logical way to kind of do that. Where are we? When you bring on white labeled services, it's important to maintain that cohesion and consistency with your clients. So if it starts to look like it's cobbled together, and it says it in my notes. I must have said that when I was talking to Miranda going over this. It's going to feel like a hot mess. They're going to feel like it's fragmented and like one hand isn't talking to the other. You don't want them to feel like you're just a team of third-party contractors and you're just managing them more than you're managing the client's strategy. It's all about the best people, the best team to execute the strategy that you've developed in order to meet the client's goals and objectives. So cobbling together some team that doesn't feel cohesive, it just gives that client an unsettling feeling where they're like, is this even, like, what is going on here? Like, I could have just hired a bunch of randos to execute this. I wanted the agency that is known for these results to do what they do to get me the same results. So that's something to consider. Keep it cohesive, keep it really very outwardly aligned and professional and good communication, and everything feels very buttoned up to the client. So how do you price white labeled services? Usually the firm is going to pay the freelancer or the agency that is doing the service, so the white labeler, I guess, not the client. So I would not have my client pay a social media team that we're presenting as our team that is Generation's social strategy team. The firm will receive their standard payment from the client, but then work out a separate fee for those white labeled services and then pay that freelancer or that agency directly. Here's how that looks in execution. The client relationship is with the firm, not the white labeler. Yes, we have our freelancers or our, agency entities that are doing PR talk to the clients. I want them all to be client facing. They have to be at that level where I can trust they can talk to the client. I trust what they're going to say. But the payment, the contractual relationship is with the firm. And sometimes you may decide that the third-party white labeler person, entity, doesn't have any direct interaction with the client. And that is okay too. You can have someone behind the scenes doing the work, the execution. That's totally fine. It's however you choose to create that relationship. There is a risk of bringing on white labeled services that you are on the hook always, always, always for paying them, regardless of whether or not the client pays you. So if you contract an agency or freelancer for a $10,000 project, you have to pay them on time, even if your client doesn't pay you on time. So that's a risk. And that also should be a factor when you're considering paying a white labeled freelancer, because they don't have to deal with collections and contracts and all of the muck, be in the muck and the mire like a regular agency owner, because you're ensuring that they get paid and you're riding that wave, hoping your client pays you. I would never, ever, ever not pay a white labeler or freelancer on time because we didn't get paid on time. So sometimes you have to have significant cash flow to be able to do that. That is the risk that you take as an agency owner, and that's not their risk. They're coming to you because you're guaranteeing that they're going to get paid, right? We all know that. And so your terms with the client can be different, getting paid up front, and maybe the freelancer working for you gets paid in arrears, so they get paid after you get paid. But meaning like you bill your clients on the first of the month for that month, and your freelancers bill you on the first of the month for the last month. So technically you should already get paid by your client, but sometimes terms are different. Clients pay late. You still have to pay that invoice on time. Thumbs up if we know that. You have to take care of your people. 100% always take care of your people. I had a client, a multi-billion dollar publicly traded company. that was they paid a very high retainer. It was a thing of beauty. We're talking like multiple 5 figures. Fabulous. But at the beginning of the pandemic, they declared bankruptcy, which was not cool at all. And we had to pay a lot to get these services executed because it was a lot of work. There was a lot of content creation and outside agencies creating a ton of photographic content, like 30 different images from 30 different brands each month. And it was very, there was like a long runway, like 90 days from the time we got the concepts to the time we executed, because there were so many products to procure and so many ideas to run through approvals. The bigger the client, the more channels of approval. So I had been paying my team the whole time, and I was always 90 days because they were such a high retainer. I was like, I'm willing to risk it. And when they declared bankruptcy, they owed me a lot of money. And the money I paid my team was gone, because of course. And so I was like kind of freaking out. And so I reached out to my contact and I begged them. And I just said, before you fully have everybody lining up to be creditors, you have to pay me. Like, you have to, like, please, like, I'm a person, I got to get paid. And thankfully they did. I still get creditor letters from the bankruptcy court. Thankfully I'm not a creditor because I got paid fully, but that would have been extremely scary because that was so much cash flow that I was working behind, because I was paying my people on time and I was getting paid 90 days late. But the risk to me was worth it because the fee was so high and the caliber of work we were doing was great, and having that type of client on our roster was great. So it was worth it. And thank God I did get paid in advance of them saying get in line as a creditor, because I don't think I would have gotten anything after they paid everybody else off. I don't know. So that's a risk, but you have to weigh that. When you're working with that white labeler, let's just call them the white labeler. It's the one providing the service. You should mark up the package for your client, because that will help cover those risks of late payments, incomplete payments, the extra effort that you're taking to manage the client relationship. You're not just passing it off. You're spending time on that. And there's a lot of white labelers that get it. They know that you are marking up their services. They have to know. That's just how it is, right? And they're willing to come in for a bit less than maybe they would make if that was their client, because you're having that risk of not getting paid, and they will still get paid. They don't have to deal with the contracts, the negotiation. They don't really have to manage the client relationship. They're not really spending all that time doing all of that. And you're probably offering them a lot of work consistently. Like if you're offering PRs, or I keep saying social media services, but you're not actually executing them in your agency, but you're offering it to all your clients and like half of them take you up on it, that's a lot of work for a prospective agency to be white labeling for you. So it's worth it for them. Yes. And also cover the expenses of the platforms that you use, like Prowly. I love that you're using Prowly. I'm a Prowly ambassador. Presshook, FreshBooks, all of it. Yes. That's right. We have the tools. We have the platform. It's a great point, Ashley Victoria. Like, really great point. We have the tools. We have the resources. We have all of the, platforms and databases and things that are expensive. And you might want to invest in training. Invest in the Pitch Lab. It's so inexpensive, but give your team access to it, because that will give them, even your social media team, now they're going to have access to execution plans and calendars and things that will help them create content that's aligned with what you're pitching the media at that time. It all works together. So you can get them training, you can get them resources and things too if you want, or share yours with them. That's exactly right. You're covering those expenses you need to run your agency. And if you're white labeling your services for another firm, you'd usually offer your services at a discount, since the firm is the one managing the relationship for you. They're doing the billing, all the client comms, all of the expectation management, all of it, right? And so you're just there to deliver results. This is really good. Like, the people on my team who are excellent at getting results. They just don't want to deal with like the business BS. They don't want to be an entrepreneur. That's not like their jam. They want to just get results. They love, writing and pitching, and they love the industry that they're working in. They're not necessarily like everybody says, don't you worry, your freelancers are going to steal your clients. And it's like, no, first of all, they're all people I've worked with for years and years, and they're not their highest integrity. They just want to get results. They don't really want to be there trying to, grow this huge business and deal with all the headaches that come from scaling. I've reduced the fee by 10% since I didn't get the client directly. Yeah, that's one way to do it, as she's saying, as the white labeler, as the one executing the services. So if you consistently work with a firm, you can offer them a bundled deal or a flat rate as opposed to an hourly fee. That is how we consider all of our freelancers. I don't want them to have to deal with hourly. I think hourly sucks for a number of reasons. Also part rebellion from billable hours when I was an attorney, which is the worst. You're calculating every 10th of an hour, every 6 minutes, which is like the amount of time you go to the bathroom. It's like, I don't want to stop the clock to go to the bathroom. That's so like demeaning. I don't need someone to know every 10th of an hour what I'm doing. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't want my freelancer staff to track that either. I don't really care. Get the job done. I don't care how long you spend. So if you're offering them a bundled deal for multiple accounts or a flat rate just to execute every month and, knowing that you're going to do your best and get a lot of results, that's how we do it in our business. It's a great way to build a relationship with that firm, just being their clutch go-to. Like, when I pitch our services, I know exactly how much it's going to cost me to execute that campaign monthly so that I have a nice, juicy, healthy margin built in for profit. That's what it's all about. So that allows my expenses to be more predictable, more manageable, larger margin to mark up the client package. And this builds goodwill. Like, Ashley Victoria is building goodwill by offering a 10% discount to show her appreciation for the opportunity and the fact that maybe she's not dealing with the contract and the collections and client management expectations and running meetings and all of those things. So those are the positives. Is it ever a bad idea? The main drawback is that the client relationship wouldn't be yours. You didn't get to explain the work you've done. You can't take credit for the wins you've secured. Like, that relationship is ours, and our freelancers are not running around saying like these clients are our clients. It's our generation's clients and our work product, and we really can't because the client's going to go, who is this? I work with Generation. I didn't realize they were an outside team or an outside person. You really can't build that true partnership with the client when you are the one providing white labeled services. Those wins will belong to the firm that you're supporting, and you're probably not able to use them in a case study or testimonial to secure your own clients. So it can remove all of that visibility for your own business, and usually you can't really leverage those results going forward. You can work out a special relationship with the agency you're supporting and say, listen, if I don't talk about this specific brand, can I mention it in general terms? Or can I mention the brand? Like, what are you comfortable with? And the agency can let you know, yes, you can say clean beauty brand versus the name of the brand, or you can say you secured placements in top tier outlets like XYZ, and then maybe you privately share when you speak to that prospective client, I was working as a freelancer, so it's not necessarily my client, but these are the results I secured. Just don't put them out online anywhere, and make sure you respect that relationship that you worked out contractually with the company that you're white labeling for. So it can remove that visibility and won't really allow you to leverage those results, but ask the firm you're supporting what you're able to do there to make sure you're complying. And this is why we don't white label services in my agency. We want to be the established agency in our niches. And if we white labeled our services and we're working under somebody else's company, that really minimizes our presence and the work that we do. And also, we're at this point established enough where I don't need to take those opportunities to get the experience or to bring in revenue. I'm very, very fortunate in that regard. But I would have in the beginning if I needed the revenue and I wanted that experience, and I wasn't getting traction on my own, I would have done it. But now that we're 18 years in, we don't necessarily do that. So I've had opportunities where people will say, we have a lot of clients coming in for marketing and building websites, and we don't have a PR arm. And can you work under us and provide those PR services? And the answer is no. That's just not how we work. I'm not going to do that. I also don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to be under their leadership. I want to do it my way. So if you're the agency that is bringing in white labeled services, you could run into issues if you don't know that freelancer really well. So you have to vouch for them and you have to know that their work is going to meet your standards and tell your clients that it's going to be up to the quality, right? You're not going to say, well, we're going to give it a try, or your clients, first of all, you have a reputation and you want at all costs for your reputation to always be high and not do anything to risk your positive reputation to your clients or other people in the industry. So if you're bringing someone on, they are a part of your team. Their wins are your wins and your clients' wins, and their fuck ups are yours. And you have to take responsibility. You are on the hook for poor results. Any wasted time, any lost revenue, if they don't work to your standards or they drop the ball, that's on you. So you need to vet these opportunities with these third-party white labeled agencies or freelancers, come with recommendations, give them a trial period, something that is going to minimize that risk to your reputation and your responsibility to take responsibility if it doesn't go well. Okay. I have best practices now. Okay. For best practices. Are you guys ready for them? This is when you're using white labeled services or you're white labeling your own services to another agency for best practices. One, always make sure that white labelers are sticking to client protocol. So that client information is theirs. It's the client's, their logo, their branding, their past content, any strategy that you develop is the clients. And a lot of the bigger clients we work with have protocol and usage rights and things that we're agreeing to when you get their assets, their proprietary info, their logos, their content, access to their marketing strategies. That is your responsibility as the agency bringing in a white labeler to ensure that they're following those rules. They should only access files that they have permission to access, and they can't share that content. Sometimes they can't even share that they are part of that relationship. It depends what you put in to your contract with that third-party agency freelancer. But keep in mind, you're agreeing. I mean, we had a point with that big multi-billion-dollar client. They had to do a security audit on our company and figure out, how are we storing their information? How are we handling a client that gets fired or an employee that gets fired? What's the process that we have in place for taking their files immediately, changing passwords? What's that protocol so that they, as a publicly traded company, they can't have any security breaches from their third-party contractors. So they had to confirm that we were aligned with their requirements on the security side, which means that our contractors had to follow those same requirements. Okay. So get them on board. That content belongs to the client or belongs to your agency, not to them, and only give them access to what they need. Number two, give those white labelers their own company email address. So that is going to give your client a seamless experience, and they don't want to be getting emails from email addresses they don't recognize from Gmail addresses, which is so unprofessional. When we bring in freelancers at my own agency, we always give them their own Generation PR email address. And when we had a freelancer who was exceptional, and I was very flexible with her because she was really good, she refused to use Generation PR email when reaching out to the media. She wanted those contacts to be hers, and she was also supposed to disclose that the clients she was pitching were in support of Generation PR, and eventually she just stopped disclosing that. So those media contacts never connected those clients to Generation, and it really did over time damage our opportunity to establish ourselves even more in that niche and show that we have high quality, high caliber clients. And like I said, I let it slide because the freelancer delivered really stellar results, top tier placements all the time. But it was a major trade-off that we had to make, and it was like a big decision. And in the end, preserving client relationships to me was the most important. So what she did was use our email to talk to clients and then used her own email to pitch the media. And it wasn't the best approach, but it was fine. And the results we got were so good that we were able to leverage them, and that never changed. So I just feel like I need a lippy right now. So keep that in mind. Thumbs up to all working under the same email, no like Gmail and all that. So if you're white labeling your services, request that the firm you're working with will set up an email for you. And even if you have multiple team members working on that project, try to communicate through a single email because that will be easier. And what I've done on the social media side, because I see Serena talking about possibly white labeling social media services, I have set up an email, social@generationpr.com, because that role, and you'll see if you start reaching out to do this, Serena, tends to change a lot. It's really hard to find the right people that will do the right approach and quality of work that you want. So we had just one email, social@generationpr. So for the client, if that person changed out, there wasn't a new email address they had to start using. Do you see what I'm saying? So that kept it a little bit more streamlined. So if you're white labeling and you have an email address at the company you're supporting, have all of your team use that same email. And if you need issues with like, have you read it? Have you responded? Leave it unread in that email if you think somebody else needs to respond, or forward it to somebody for them to respond. Because you want to make sure if multiple people are checking, it doesn't. Yes, Nicola, yes. She's saying, would you as an agency owner ever share your own media list with a free? I share my media list with all of you guys. Like, we have a database. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Why not? Like, it's only benefiting my clients. So absolutely. And they can use it for other stuff too. It's totally fine. It's like, we share, we care. Sharing is caring, right? If you have very specific proprietary contacts that are hard to procure and relationships that you would not want some third-party person reaching out to because it might damage your relationship with that contact. If it's very niche, very specific, then maybe don't share that contact. But because it's benefiting my clients, yeah, absolutely. We share everything with our freelancers. I have them working at our company as if they are, full-time. Okay, number 3, sign a contract and an NDA. So whether you're bringing on white labeled services or you're doing the white labeling yourself, your contract should clearly state that that person or agency doing the services is a third-party contractor. Any work that they produce will belong to your firm offering the service to the clients. Sometimes you have a contract with the clients that said that they get access to those things or whatever. That's fine. They're creating that content, those intellectual property assets on behalf of your agency. So they are a contractor. You own the IP. Make it clear that the client relationship belongs to the firm, not to the white label provider. And it's always a good idea to include that non-disclosure agreement, NDA, with your white labeling contract. If you don't want a white labeler running off to the client and claiming the work is theirs, especially when the client doesn't know that they were brought on board or that they're an outside company, you need to have this in place. And it also helps you preserve the client relationship when you are utilizing those services. I had a savage person who tried to claim to one of our Agency Accelerator mastermind members that all of the work that she was doing for us were her clients. And this person, because of the Agency Accelerator, knows my business inside and out, intimately knows my clients, how much we charge, everything. When this woman said, yeah, I do social media for XYZ brands, and then she expanded the scope of the work she was doing, which wasn't even supporting clients she was claiming. Like, let's say there was a parent company with 20 brands. We represented 3. She claimed those 3 as her own, plus that parent company's top 2 most well-known brands. Like, everybody would know those brands. We didn't support those brands. We supported these 3 that are also great clients, just not like, oh. She claimed she did all the work on those as well. Anyway, so the woman in Agency Accelerator was like, aren't these your clients? This person never admitted that she lied in that way. She blamed it on me for not getting the full picture, would not take responsibility, and never did. And so I had to fire her, which was horrible. She did good work. It was like, why do you need to lie about this? I could have recommended you to my entire community of people, but now you've gone and done it. So thank God, I don't know how many other people she tried to misrepresent that was her work, but nipped it in the bud, had to move her out very quickly, had to do the whole thing where we like changed passwords and took back assets and had to tell the client that she was no longer working on the account. That was horrible. And I've since heard that she's done some other things that were very unethical, like through the PR community. Oh God, exactly. Do not. And she did it to a journalist too, the next thing that happens. Anyway, Nicholas saying, great to know. I used to work for a paranoid agency that wasn't allowed to work on those media lists. That's just like, I don't recommend our community operates from a state of paranoia and like my secrets. Like, we can all succeed. And if you're working to benefit them and their clients, why shouldn't you have access to that wherever you choose to work if you're working from home? I don't get that. Plus, you strike me as a person of very high integrity, Nicola, so whatever. Just know that if you freelanced for me, you would get whatever we have. You are welcome to it. Anyway, so blah, blah, blah. You don't want the, NDA. NDA will help you preserve that relationship. That's that. Okay. The last one of my 4 best practices is do a quality audit before working with a white labeled service provider. So never assume, this sounds so basic, but come on, never assume that a white labeler is going to do a good job and complete the work to your standards or the standards and the results you pitch to the client. So you want to see samples of their work before you hire them. Hop on a call to make sure they really understand your services, that you've offered the expectations, the scope of work that this white labeling contract is going to entail. And if that white labeler has been heavily vetted by someone you trust, like another digital agency owner within your niche, you may still want to vet them in your own way and discuss the scope of work, but that is going to give you a bit more comfort in knowing that they're going to be up to your standards. And once that freelancer comes in and they're white labeling, that quality of work or lack thereof is on you and your agency. So if they do a bad job or they don't complete those deliverables for the project or don't do it on time, you are responsible for that subpar work and any damage that it does to your credibility and your client relationship, that falls on you. And I've always told you guys, as an agency owner, any team win, share that with your team and make sure the client knows that your team was responsible. any team flaws, problems, you take responsibility. As the leader of your business, you need to be there for your people. You need to be there for your clients and own it. So it helps a lot to have the non-disclosure, the contractor agreement in place. It helps a lot to have vetted their work and clearly conveyed the scope of work of the agreement so that there's no surprises. But if something goes south, you have to take responsibility for it, which is fine if you've done your homework and you've vetted, and then you know the people are going to be great and they're going to make you look good. That's the thing. They do the work and you get to look good. But if they do the bad work, then they make you look bad, and you have to mend those, you have to repair those challenges. So that's what I have for you guys today. So white labeling can play a big role in expanding your agency's offering, scaling your businesses to new heights. So I have this free PR agency action plan. This is my step-by-step framework that I've used to build my agency, grow our business, charging premium retainers and landing, really, really great clients, well-known international brands, scoring my dream clients where they come to us. And I've had hundreds of women all over the world come in to this agency action plan and execute and have similar results, whatever their dream clients are, whatever their financial goals are in their business, so revenue goals. So grab that. And those of you, just my first little teaser, anybody who's been considering our agency accelerator, Serena is in it. Nicola, did you join? I know you're in the pitch lab. Did you join the agency accelerator yet? I know you're considering it. We are going to be opening enrollment very soon. Stand by. But if you enroll or grab this action plan, you will get on our list so that you will start to see when we are ready to launch. Does anybody have any other questions for me for today? Definitely considering. Serena, should she go in the agency accelerator? I don't know who else is on here, but that's in it. But let us know your thoughts on that. And yes, it does work if you're international for sure. I know I get that question a lot. Yes. It's like successfully growing and scaling an agency. It's based on the principle of service, like crush it for your clients, take great care of them. It's better to keep your clients in the door and offer them new services than it is to have to be in client, lead gen mode all the time. And of course we teach lead generation and selling your services and proposals and all of that, but it's a system. It all works together and systems and processes. So yeah, grab our agency action plan. Let me even see what that link looks like. Oh, this is cute. Agency accelerator is on my list, but my predominant focus right now is my swimwear brand. Awesome. Good. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Oh, this is cute. I forgot about what this page looked like. This is pretty cute. 12-step action plan. And there's a free training for building a profitable PR agency on your own terms in less time and with less stress. I think that sounds pretty great. So awesome, guys. Well, let me know if you have any other questions. I actually just landed a new client, and I say that in a way that's like, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. We haven't been really pounding the pavement. And so I'm really excited because I'm very excited about this client. It's a K-beauty brand. And I'm about to send them our contract, and we're so excited. So, look out for some stuff around that. And, I just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you as always for being here. I'm here to see you succeed. I'm here to support you in achieving your professional goals and dreams for your business and work-life integration. That is my goal. And if there is something that I can do to support you, please let me know. Your participation in our community means everything to me, and I hope I say it enough. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Take care.